In order to satisfy his perverted desires, a man shot Cupid's arrow at his own aunt. The red arrow slowly merged into her body, and in the next moment, his sexy aunt pounced on him. The man's name is Akira, who has been an orphan since he was young and had to live with his aunt. However, his aunt and uncle abused him every day, even denying him food. Even his younger siblings often beat and scolded him. Over time, Akira lost the will to live. He went to the rooftop, ready to end his miserable life. But just as he was falling rapidly, a beautiful angel caught him. Because Akira's life was so miserable, he was chosen by the gods to become a candidate for divinity. While Akira was still in a daze, the angel had already brought out a gift from the gods. First, she gave Akira a pair of angel wings that were identical to hers. Then, in the angel's hand appeared a Cupid's arrow. Anyone who was hit by this red diamond would be irresistibly in love with the shooter. Akira put on the angel wings and experienced the joy of flying for the first time. Looking at the beautiful city below in the sky, Akira couldn't help but exclaim, "Freedom is great." At this moment, the angel suddenly revealed a secret to him. It turned out that his parents did not die in an accident but were murdered by his aunt and uncle. Filled with anger, Akira immediately decided to go back and seek revenge on them. Looking at his aunt sitting on the sofa, Akira summoned the Cupid's arrow and shot it directly at her. In the next moment, his sexy aunt transformed into a different appearance and seductively approached him like a snake. Akira forcefully pushed her aside and questioned her why she killed his parents. Just then, his uncle, who was awakened by the commotion, came out cursing and blaming his wife. It turned out that they killed Akira's parents in order to obtain his father's wealth. They tampered with the car, causing the death of Akira's parents. Even their adoption of Akira was for the purpose of obtaining a large insurance compensation. In a state of collapse, Akira couldn't help but curse the two of them, asking why it wasn't them who died. After hearing this, his aunt directly grabbed a knife and ended her own life. The angel explained that it was the effect of the Cupid's arrow. No matter what Akira said, his aunt would unconditionally obey. Shocked, Akira looked at the blood on the ground, unable to believe everything that had happened. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. The angel, Nasai, encouraged Akira to pull himself together, explaining that she came here to make him happy. Nasai was a special great angel. However, Akira said he couldn't be happy because he had no money left. At this point, Nasai encouraged him to kill his uncle and take back the money that rightfully belonged to him. When she gave Akira the red diamond, she also included a white diamond as a gift. The white diamond's function is to cause 100% violent death. The angel saw Akira's weakness and decided to tell him the truth. There are currently 13 candidates to inherit the position of God in this world. Each candidate has a personal angel by their side. The next God will be chosen from these 13 individuals. This means that Akira will have to engage in fierce battles with the other 12 candidates. However, Akira does not want to become a god. He plans to use the red arrow to control his uncle and make him confess his crimes. But reality does not give him the time to execute his plan. At that moment, Akira accidentally saw an ugly man on TV, and he was accompanied by an angel. This man has become a hot topic and is being interviewed because he has managed to make 3 top female celebrities fall in love with him. Akira quickly deduces that he must have used the Cupid's arrow on these women, manipulating them for his own pleasure. But before Akira can take any action, someone else takes notice of him. It is Ikaruga, one of the 13 candidates. While the men were enjoying themselves, Ikaruga suddenly shoots him with a white arrow. The man instantly loses his life. This incident sends chills down Akira's spine, realizing that the battle among the candidates for God has already begun, and he might be the next one to die. In the midst of his fear, Akira sees a news report on a large screen. A bank has been robbed, and the police are struggling to handle the situation. The entrance is heavily guarded, and the hostages are at a standstill with the robbers. Suddenly, Ikaruga descends from the sky, declaring himself as the savior. Then he confidently storms into the bank and kills the robbers with the white arrow. Everything happens too quickly, leaving the onlookers unable to react. But Akira knows the truth. Ikaruga, who appears to be a hero fighting for justice, is actually just a candidate who wants to seize the inheritance of God. 2 out of the 13 candidates have already lost their lives. Akira didn't want to die too soon. So she left Nasai at home and traveled alone. On this day, Akira had just arrived at the school gates when he was startled by the fluttering feathers falling from the sky. He picked one up and looked up, and sure enough, there was an angel in the sky. Despite not wanting to reveal his identity, Akira was recognized by the angel. But what he didn't expect was that the angel's owner was his childhood friend Hanako. Before Akira could react, Hanako shot a Cupid's arrow at him. Immediately, Akira began uncontrollably confessing his love to Hanako. Little did he know, This was a trap set by Hanako's angel. She didn't want to harm Akira, but she didn't realize that even if Akira wasn't hit by her arrow, he would still fall in love with her. Because Akira had been secretly in love with her for 5 years. Now with the help of Cupid's arrow he finally got his wish to touch Hanako's hand. And he's taken the initiative to form a two-person alliance with Hanako unbeknownst to him. This is exactly what Hanako's guardian angel wanted. Akira didn't realize that he willingly exposed his identity for Hanako's sake, but Hanako conspired with the male angel and tried to take away all his skills. Because Hanako's guardian angel is too low level. She only possessed Cupid's arrow. She coveted Akira's murderous white diamonds and flying wings. So she persuaded him to confront Ikaruga, who had been on a killing spree recently. In this way, regardless of who won, she would benefit. However, just as everything was going according to plan, Akira's angel, Nasai, suddenly appeared. At a glance, she saw through Hanako and her male angel's scheme. They were unaware that this male angel was notorious in the celestial realm for his deceitful ways, which led to his demotion to the lowest rank of angel. This also resulted in Hanako only receiving the Cupid's arrow skill. The male angel, feeling embarrassed, became angry and wanted to drive Akira away without any explanation. But Akira was unwilling to leave. Nasai hurriedly explained that even without Cupid's arrow, Akira still loved Hanako. To test Akira's sincerity, the male angel bound him for 33 days, as the Cupid's arrow had a shelf life of only 33 days. After 33 days, they could verify Akira's true feelings. Hanako couldn't bear to see this and personally untied him. As Nasai had said, Akira's love for Hanako had not faded away. Just then the TV suddenly broadcasted Ikaruga's voice. He used the excuse of a football match to attract more candidates out of hiding. To avoid revealing their identities to Ikaruga, Akira and Hanako deliberately did not bring their angels with them. They wanted to see what Ikaruga was up to. As Ikaruga appeared as promised, 2 candidates in matching armor suddenly appeared alongside him. The candidate in the blue armor unexpectedly shot a Cupid's arrow at Ikaruga. However, a strange scene unfolded. The red diamond couldn't pierce through Ikaruga. This meant that he had likely already been hit by someone else's red diamond. Red diamonds couldn't stack and could only be used again after the 33-day shelf life ended. In the next moment, the real Ikaruga appeared on the big screen. At this moment, the 2 armored men kept shouting, trying to provoke Ikaruga to appear. Suddenly, a little girl appeared, wanting to join the team of the 2 armored men. Just then Ikaruga suddenly appeared and snatched the girl away. He fired a Cupid's arrow at her and then proceeded to mock the armored brothers. After finishing his taunts, Ikaruga vanished. Before the brothers could react, Ikaruga reappeared and launched an attack against them. The little girl, thinking she had sided with Ikaruga, believed she wouldn't be killed, but she was too naive. Witnessing this scene, Akira decided to rescue the girl. However, Nasai suddenly appeared, advising him not to act rashly. By this time, Ikaruga's diamond had already been shot towards the little girl. When Akira and Hanako returned home, they were consumed by deep self-blame. It was then that Hanako came up with an idea to seek cooperation from other candidates and eliminate Ikaruga together. Just then, a stranger appeared, an unfamiliar man. Akira and Hanako immediately brandished their weapons, on guard. However, Nasai sensed the man's intentions and approached him, confirming that he was not lying. Nasai then led him into their home. After getting to know each other, they learned that this weathered man's name was Shichido. He was in the advanced stages of cancer, with only 3 months to live according to the doctor's prognosis. However, not long ago, he was chosen by a beautiful angel. Initially, he had lost all hope of living, but upon discovering that becoming a deity would redeem his life and eradicate the disease, he regained hope. Looking at a photo of his wife and daughter, tears streamed down his face. He knew he couldn't simply pass away like this, so he agreed to become a candidate for godhood, as offered by the angel. But things were far from simple, as the selection period lasted 999 days, and he had to compete with 12 other individuals. Now, with the emergence of the formidable Ikaruga, no matter what he did, he wouldn't live to see the day a god was chosen. Thus, he gave up meaningless treatments and utilized the wings of the angel and Cupid's arrows to manipulate a wealthy man, bringing immense wealth to his family. He knew that his thieving actions disqualified him from becoming a deity, so he decided to do something meaningful with his remaining time. Ikaruga's appearance solidified his goal, but he knew he couldn't defeat Ikaruga alone. Hence, he sought an alliance with other candidates for godhood. He used Cupid's arrows on 14 detectives, tasking them with finding potential candidates for cooperation on the football field. That was when he found Akira and Hanako. When he saw their photos, he believed that both of them were good people. Thus, he intruded without invitation, seeking an alliance with the two. Upon hearing this, Akira had one condition. He hoped that Mr. Shichido would continue his treatments for the sake of his family and children and not give up on the will to live. Shichido used to be a fashion designer. In order to keep their true identities hidden, he decided to design a set of armor for Akira and Hanako. After understanding their skills, Shichido bid them farewell. Meanwhile, on Ikaruga's side, he looked at the 3 extra sets of equipment with concern. Suddenly, he had an idea to enjoy the privileges of a deity in advance and fulfill other people's wishes. The next day, he approached his friend and asked about their wish. His friend casually said, "Make all the ugly women in the world disappear." Hearing this wish, Ikaruga thought it was a good idea. Little did his friend know that this thoughtless remark would lead to the deaths of many innocent lives. Soon, news reports emerged about a series of incidents involving a teenage criminal on the loose and multiple girls being murdered. Shichido was the first to notice that something was amiss. He questioned the angel, asking if the wings of the angel and Cupid's arrows could be given to ordinary people. Hanako's angel confirmed that it was possible, but at a significant cost: life itself. Shortly after, the criminal's photo was released online. Her name was Miso, a beautiful girl who had been a popular internet model 2 years ago. Her arrest had caused quite a sensation, and there were witnesses who saw her disappear instantly during her escape. Shichido was convinced that it was the wings of the angel that allowed her to vanish. Meanwhile, Miso was playing sports with a girl in his room. Due to the noise they were making, Ikaruga impatiently interrupted them. Miso saw Ikaruga's appearance and immediately jumped on him. It was evident that she was being controlled by Ikaruga's red diamond. Witnessing this scene, Ikaruga could only urge her to finish quickly. In the next moment, she picked up a knife and approached the girl. At that moment, Akira and the others were also discussing. Ikaruga possessed 3 sets of wings of the angel and red diamonds, which he could bestow upon ordinary people. However, the condition was that they had to be hit by the red diamond, otherwise, they would be uncontrollable. The recipients would then have 33 days to freely use the wings of the angel and the red diamond. Miso could freely commit murders during this period, and Ikaruga's goal was to lure out the other divine candidates who wanted to stop Miso and use the opportunity to eliminate them. Shichido was furious. While Miso was an obvious trap, he couldn't let such a dangerous individual go unchecked. Faced with this serial killer who targeted young girls, he wished to kill her immediately. The only way now was to turn the tables and have Akira hide in the shadows. Once Ikaruga appeared, Akira would use the white diamond to kill him. Although it was a good plan, Akira was unwilling to take a life. Shichido told Akira that if they didn't kill Ikaruga, they would be killed by him. It would be considered self-defense. However, Akira ultimately refused to accept using the white diamond to kill someone. Seeing Akira's weakness and inability, Shichido had nothing more to say and could only return home to think of another solution. But the next day, the news reported yet another girl murdered by Miso. The body was found at the top of a tower in the city center. This time, Shichido couldn't sit still. He immediately grabbed a suitcase and went to Akira's place. To their surprise, the suitcase contained guns and bullets. There's no rule in the gods that says a candidate for God can't use other weapons. Akira stated that if they resorted to such methods, they would be no different from the murderer. Just then, the news reported another incident: Miso committing another murder. Another girl's body appeared on top of the tower, and Miso was floating in midair, seemingly asleep. Many people were shocked by this scene, as it was a blatant provocation. Shichido immediately formulated a battle plan. He would confront Miso as a decoy, if Ikaruga appears. Akira will use the white diamond to kill him from the shadows immediately. The two of them swiftly changed into their combat suits and rushed to the tower where Miso was located. Meanwhile, Miso was leisurely shopping online, unaware of the impending danger. Shichido's sudden appearance excited her greatly, and Akira found a hiding spot, preparing for the upcoming confrontation. However, this played right into Ikaruga's plan. With the press of a button, the entire tower exploded in an instant. Akira stood frozen, unsure of what to do until he noticed Shichido being thrown through the air by the blast. Without hesitation, Akira flew to catch him mid-air. Shichido assured him that he was fine, thanks to the explosion-resistant capabilities of his armor. But just then, Ikaruga suddenly appeared behind them, aiming the white diamond at them. Akira and Shichido immediately joined forces to fight against Ikaruga. Realizing he was overpowered, Ikaruga made the decision to detonate the bombs placed in the city center. Akira couldn't bear to see innocent lives lost, and in that moment, he couldn't hold back any longer. Shichido, seizing the opportunity, pulled out a handgun and started firing relentlessly at Ikaruga. Akira took the opportunity to attack. However, when Akira caught a glimpse of Ikaruga's face beneath the mask, he hesitated for a moment. This hesitation gave Ikaruga the chance to escape.